We will not forget. That's the message on this day, with ceremonies from coast to coast honoring those who've made the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
St. Philip's College was just one of many places across the city pausing to allow students and staff to reflect on Memorial Day. The school held not one but two wreath-laying ceremonies for the public.
Eyewitness News reporter Jeremy Baker attended both and has more on those services.
Taps played as the wreath was laid this morning at St. Philip's College main campus.
These are traditions that we have in our country, and in a city like San Antonio, that's military city. There's so many veterans in active duty here.
I wouldn't say it's therapy. It's more like reminiscence of what I went through during the war.
Ricardo Cruz is a Vietnam veteran who served in the Marines for 25 years, including 1 year in the DMZ during the war. He says war affected him greatly throughout his life.
World War II, during the Japanese occupation in Guam, and my father ended up being a POW during the war for 3 years.
Cruz told us this national holiday gives him a chance to take a beat and remember.
It gives me an opportunity to think about my counterparts, all the military people who served.
For most people, it doesn't touch them as close as it did to me. So to me, it's a very special day because I have to remember those friends of mine.
At St. Philip's Southwest campus, Vice President Rafael Bracita, who served in the Air Force for 31 years, including time in Desert Storm, says we need to keep the true meaning of Memorial Day alive.
We need to continuously not forget those that gave their lives to keep the country free.
Seeing those who came to remember those lost makes an impression.
Having lost very close friends, it touches me and my family really at the core of what it is to live and die for what you believe in.
Jeremy Baker, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.